Hi guys, welcome to my second video. Today I'm going to show you how I meal prep. The first thing that you do is thaw out your meat. I'm actually going to be making some baked chicken and oxtail. This meat was thawed out the night before. I do clean my chicken with, well, any meat I cook with vinegar. Before cleaning it though, I do cut off a little bit of the excess fatty parts, skin and fat. Not all of it, I do leave some because I do believe it adds flavor. Here are some of the seasonings that I use. I use some gray sauce seasonings and then some dry seasonings. So chicken seasoning and all-purpose seasoning. Okay, so I normally just make little holes in the chicken so that it soaks more of the seasoning up. I'm basically going to be using the same seasoning for the oxtail and for the chicken. The only difference is this I'm only gonna put on the oxtail. So I use this on everything I cook, and I do like to use a little bit of the easy spice as well. And then for both of them, this fish and meat sauce by Grace is very good, and because I want it to have a little bit of color, I just use a little bit of browning, and then just a little bit of salt and pepper, because this is actually pretty spicy. This is how the meat looks with all the seasoning on. I normally go ahead and put it back in the fridge with covers on to let it marinate while I prep my vegetables. So today, and normally I always use some scallion, onion, garlic, scotch bonnet pepper, ginger, and thyme. I have recently started mincing my vegetables and going ahead and blending it to make a little sauce marinade because I just feel like it seasons the meat better. So to be honest, right here guys is why this video is now a voiceover. I started cutting some onions. I moved on to go ahead and start cutting some scotch bonnet pepper. My eyes started to water, and somewhere along the way I went and rubbed my face. And just FYI, do not touch your face when cutting up scotch bonnet pepper. Very dangerous. Anyway, I did continue to cut the scotch bonnet pepper for a while, moved on to garlic, and when I started to go ahead and try to mince my scallion, that's when my eyes and nose started to run. So yeah, so here you can see I'm just finishing up with the garlic, and then after this I started on the scallion, had to stop, and you'll see right here I actually cut it off and then had to stop. Off camera, I did go ahead and cut the bulbs off the scallion and get it ready to be chopped. I chopped this up with the ginger and added it. This is the final look of my sauce. As you can see, it has a little bit of orange color because I put a little bit too much pepper. But yeah, I'm gonna add some to both the oxtail and the chicken, and I make sure to spread it evenly around so that it can get into the meat. I normally let this marinate overnight depending on when I've prepped, but sometimes it's the same day, and I let it sit for at least an hour to 3 hours so that it can actually get into the meat, and then I'll go ahead and let it stay in the fridge while it's marinating, and I start working on other things. So for my side today, I'm going to be just making some mixed vegetable, cauliflower rice for me, and then this regular jasmine rice for my husband. The cauliflower rice I go ahead and make in the microwave because I do not like when it gets too soggy, and I feel like I have a little bit more control over that when it's in the microwave. I normally do about 2 or 3 minutes. After, I go ahead and add some butter and salt, and then just mix that, and I just butter and salt to taste. I don't normally make it too salty because the cauliflower will take the taste of any gravy. Okay, so here I'm gonna be adding chicken to my prepped baking dish. I normally put a little bit of vegetable oil, spread it evenly, and then add the chicken to the pan just so that the chicken won't stick. Meanwhile, the oven is preheating. I normally preheat anywhere from 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I cook the chicken for 30 minutes before I take it out and add a coating, and then I finish it off for another like 20 minutes most. But yes, this is the chicken, spreading the sauce, getting it all over, and then once I feel like it's marinated enough, I go ahead and add it to the oven. While the oven preheats and then the chicken actually bakes, I move on to preparing the oxtail. The first thing I'm going to do is brown the oxtail. So I'm gonna heat some oil in a pan. I do pressure it in the Instapot, which is what I was trying to show there. So I just go ahead and add a reasonable amount to the pot, let it heat up, because I'm not going to be cooking it long. I'm just going to go ahead and flip it for a while just so it can get some flavor. And then I work on the steamed vegetables, and here I just have some water getting prepped for the actual rice. So I'm going to be just adding the meat to the pot. I would say no more than 10 minutes, so about 5 minutes on each side, if even not long. It's more so just to give it a cooked flavor on the outside and to trap some of the seasoning, because what I'm going to do is pressure cook it. Okay, so here's the rice coming along, and then after that, okay, so what I'm doing here is adding the actual meat out of the pot into the pressure cooker. This sauce that I'm adding is the sauce that was left in the dish that it was marinating in a little bit of warm water, about a half cup. And I add it to the pressure cooker, and I think I do it for about 45 minutes, anywhere to 40 to 45 minutes to go ahead and pressure the meat. Okay, so while the oxtail is still prepping, I'm cooking in the Instapot. I'm gonna go ahead and take the chicken out. This is after my 30-minute alarm. To be honest with you guys, my Birmingham honey oven. Another reason why this is a voiceover. But the sauce I'm putting on here is just literally barbecue and ketchup. I do a little bit more ketchup than barbecue because I'm not the biggest fan of barbecue sauce. I make sure to go ahead and coat the back of the chicken and also the top. I'm generous with the amount because when you do put it back into the oven, some of it is gonna like burn off, because as you can see, there's some juices there and there's more to come out once you cook it for the rest of it. So yeah, I'm just adding my top sauce here, and then once I'm done, I go ahead and put it back in the oven. I set an alarm for 15 or 20 minutes and then wait for that. Okay, so this is the oxtail after 45 minutes in the pressure cooker. I'm gonna go ahead and add some butter beans. I'm adding 2 cans because this is actually about 3 to 4 pounds of oxtail. And then I also add some coconut milk because it just gives it a really good flavor. I like adding coconut milk to my meats anyway. And then I do add ketchup, quite a good amount, because this is what's going to actually make the gravy. I go ahead and add all these stuff and then mix it around, and then I'm actually going to cook it again for about 5 minutes, but on stew. I'm not going to pressure it, and this is only to go ahead and soften the butter bean. Oh, this is a secret ingredient, just a little bit of brown sugar. It just gives it a sweet taste. So yeah, and then again, like I said, I take the pressure cover off because I'm just gonna cook it for about 4 minutes or 5 minutes tops. And then yeah, I do stew because I don't want it to get too cooked out. So this is the final product, the oxtail after it was steamed down with the beans, the baked chicken, veg, and rice. I went ahead and put the food in containers. These here on the left end that I'm showing now have the white rice, and these in the glass have cauliflower, which you honestly can't tell the difference, and it tastes the same to me. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. Thanks. Sunday dinner. Hey.
This is your payment.